Hi, Dr. Carlin. So I'm going to talk about the word stress activity we did for our teletherapy session. This particular client is an adult client receiving accent modification services. I'm hoping to help her add word stress so she sounds less monotone. During this therapy session, we are going to practice putting word stress on words that contain the T-I-O-N, S-I-O-N, and C-I spelling patterns. The stress falls before the S-H or sh sounds on these words. I chose words with 2 syllables to start at first for the client to get the hang of stressing the first part of the word. Eventually, I hope to incorporate words with more syllables. To begin, I had the client draw circles of different sizes based on the amount of stress she heard. So the stress part of the word had a big circle and the unstressed part of the word had a little circle. And this is a multi-sensory activity that uses visual paired with hearing the word. So when I said the word nation, I hope that the client would draw a big circle signifying nay and a little circle signifying shun. So she needed to stress nation like this, nation. We did that a couple of times and it seemed like it wasn't really working. So then we used clapping hands. And this is another multi-sensory activity that can be used for word stress. So during the stress part of the words, we clapped over our head like a big clap, a big stress, or big push on the word. It was louder and it was more powerful. There was more emphasis on this part of the word. So for example, the word nation had a big clap over the head on the stress part and a little clap close to the body for the unstressed shun part of the word. So we did this for a couple of the T-I-O-N endings, include like fiction, fiction. So we practiced saying these words together, and then I also provided copious amounts of performance feedback, including I loved how much power or stress you put on the first part of the word, and I loved how this part was quieter and emphasized less. So we did it for words like caution or option. After we practiced the T-I-O-N endings for a little bit, we moved on to the S-I-O-N endings. So we used block practice just to kind of get used to each spelling pattern. After she seemed to master that, then we moved on to the C-I endings. And once after that, we did randomized trials, which means we incorporated all of the words. So T-I-O-N endings, S-I-O-N endings, and C-I spelling patterns. And we just randomly did those throughout the session. What really helped was a copious amounts of performance feedback, and the point of performance feedback is just to kind of give strategies so she can hear the words as she's talking in everyday life. So she'll kind of remember like, oh yes, there is more power behind words that are, or the syllables that are stressed, or there's less power behind words that are unstressed. So I tried to do that as much as I could during this session. So I hope you like our therapy session.